Hello
Hi,
there.
Juanita. How are you?
I'm good. I have to put you on my speaker so that Joel can hear what's going on. There we go.
Okay.
I have to tell you that I told you I put everything in the oven last night with the light on.
Yeah.
And I came back from doing stuff and my starter is boiling over.
Yay. That's good news.
And then I gave Serena's sister a jar of it. And she's going to learn how to do stuff with it because she's quite a cook and a baker.
Awesome.
So I'm excited.
That's good news. That's very exciting news.
It is.
Hi, Val.
Hi.
How were your cinnamon rolls?
They were so good. A little dry, but still doughy in the middle. Had a nice crust on the outside. That's good.
I ended up making mine because I couldn't wait.
Yep.
Well, I haven't tried ours yet because I've been gone, but
100%.
That's very patient of you.
Well,
we've eaten, we've each had one in our family. Okay.
Well, I was tempted to take it to my daughter in Concord, but I'll share the recipe with her.
Absolutely. And how are your bread doughs looking, ladies? Yay! So the yeast worked then for you.
So we've been working on the bread.
Perfect.
Okay. While I was gone, Joel was dealing with it.
That was awfully nice of him.
Well, he gets to eat it, so I'm sure he approves of helping, so he did.
Awesome. And Val, it looks like the yeast gave your bread just a little bit of lift that it needed.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Val, how is your starter looking?
Oh. I fed it again.
Look at how big it is.
No, it's only to right there.
You did feed it though. And it's a little liquid. It's a little liquidier than it was this morning, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the same line because I marked it with the marker, and it's still about the same area. Didn't really grow. I don't even know where my camera's at. New computer. So.
I see you. Okay, but you've got some good bubbles in there. So I think it just needs a couple more days in the oven. Yeah.
It's still kind of on the thick side, like slow to move and stuff.
Okay. Well, maybe when you feed it tonight, just make sure that it's like that thick pancake batter consistency. If you do equal parts water, flour, and starter, you should end up with kind of that like really thick pancake batter consistency, and just do that every 12 hours. I'm certain that it's going to start, especially in your warm oven, that it's really going to start going. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
Cool. Well, and I like that you're not like super worried about it not turning out. That's helpful.
I like bread with butter. You just have some butter on it and toast it. You're all good.
Right? Cinnamon and sugar.
Serena, look at those. They're beautiful. They're a little, I think parchment paper would have helped because they're a little like around the sides. Alexa, timer off. They've got a solid edge. So I think parchment would help next round, but they're yummy and amazing. Awesome. And it's a beautiful dish. Beautiful. Okay. So
getting out my directions so that I remember what I do, because I am not a person who generally does baking without any instruction. Okay, so
I was trying to look for your videos. I'm surprised I didn't save them. They've got to be somewhere.
Well, we have new videos on YouTube, Serena, that
awesome.
I can't, that doesn't include all the folding. I will find those though and put them on YouTube at some point. I may actually do a whole nother series of this just by myself on YouTube. We'll see.
I wanted a reminder. So I have this morning's, but what did we do last night to the leaven before we to the start to make it leaven? What was last night's step?
So last night we put a tablespoon of starter with, let me find the exact, it's a tablespoon of starter, half a cup of flour, and a third a cup of water.
Okay. And then this morning was half a cup of water, tablespoon of salt, and then 5.5 cups of flour. After 30 minutes, add water and salt, and then go every 30 minutes for 3 hours.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And I will send you, I mean, all this is written down in a sourdough recipe that I got online, which is the
totally.
recipe I use.
So tablespoon of start, third a cup of flour, third a cup of water.
Is it a third a cup of flour? Half a cup of flour.
Half a cup. And then an overnight sit. Oh, there's my timer to bake bread.
Perfect. Okay, so your bread has been now rising. You've been folding it. It should have gotten a little bit puffier than it was this morning, but it doesn't like double in size necessarily. Although Val, yours probably did kind of double in size.
Goopy.
Is it supposed yours is a little goopy.
It's goopy.
Yeah.
This one's less goopy, but still goopy.
You may need to keep folding for a little while.
I think so.
Yeah, so I would ask that you just keep folding every 30 minutes until it starts to like really come together.
Yeah, she's goopy.
But I'm gonna show you. Yeah, let me see yours, Juanita. Yours is looking pretty good. You may want to fold it once or twice more, just over, and then let it raise. So I might give it a little bit of time, but Val, yours is definitely ready. So mine's sticky and goopy, but it's elastic. It's not sloppy.
Okay.
You don't want it to be sloppy. You just want it to be a little sticky. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what the next steps are. Val, you're probably going to be ready to kind of do it along with me. We are going to be shaping our loaves today. When we shape our loaves, we can then, in about 5 hours, bake them off. So you can have bread tonight in 5 hours, or put them in the refrigerator and then bake them off tomorrow, cold, straight out of the oven, and have bread tomorrow. It's up to you. You're making 2 loaves of bread. So you could do one tonight and one tomorrow and look at the differences between them also. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna shape the bread into our loaf shape. So I'm gonna sprinkle flour on my work surface.
So are you sprinkling it on the surface that you're going to bake it in?
No, I'm sprinkling it on a working surface. So I'm using just a cutting board. You can use your countertop.
Okay. So should I put, oh wait, I have to do this 2 more times. So I'm going to watch you.
You're going to watch me. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm taking my bread and it is sticky. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my kind of slightly floured fingertips and like scooping it off the bottom of the bowl. You don't want to overwork this because it's got really nice air bubbles in it. You want to keep those bubbles active. You're not trying to pop any of that good work that we just did. Okay, and then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour here, just so that it's not quite so sticky as I work with it. And then where did I put my pastry? My bench scraper. It might be washed. Go figure.
The dishwasher.
Cleaning up after myself. Aha, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down here so you can see it. And I'm gonna turn the lights down so that you can see better. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna turn into 2 loaves of bread, which means I'm gonna just use my bench scraper, or you can use a knife to cut it into 2 separate pieces. And then you'll see that it's kind of like triangle shaped, but what I'm gonna do here is swoop my bench scraper. You can also just use your hands, and I'll use my hands actually. And you just like tuck and spin to get some nice surface tension on the top of your loaf. So you're essentially creating a nice bouncy top and tightening it up underneath.
So you took your point and brought it around.
Yeah, I like tuck the point under and keep doing that around my whole loaf of bread. It's much easier to do it when you're doing it. You'll kind of like, you're essentially just trying to make this like bouncy and on the top and tight. Some people are much better at it than I am.
You are wonderful.
So a quick question.
Sure.
Because I'm doing the same. I'm doing every half hour. Should I put it in the oven, the lighted oven, while it's resting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If you're having trouble getting that rise, you might as well.
Okay.
Okay, so once you have your nice little tight balls here, these are just gonna rest for about 30 minutes.
How long?
30 minutes once they're in bags. Because you're essentially what you're doing is you're working it and then you're giving the gluten time to like relax. And then you're working a little and you're giving the gluten time to relax. So the next step, hold on one second, I'm gonna grab my proofing basket.
Hi. You need to go potty?
So what size basket do you use?
So I'm going to show you 2 things. So I have a proofing basket, which is essentially just like a little round basket that has a muslin inside and it's got flour that's like rubbed into it. You can also just use a mixing bowl or a colander with a clean dish towel in it. And so when you do that, I've used so many dish towels in the last week just making bread. So you put a dish towel in, and then you put flour in your dish towel.
Making bread.
And you rub it in super good. So you want to get it like in all the crevices of your towel, because after 30 minutes, you're going to move this bread into your proofing basket where it's going to stay either for 3 or 4 hours or overnight. And you don't want it to stick to the towel.
So
it's ideal if it's really
flour
floury.
it a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
And you might have some extra flour, and that's okay.
Uh-huh.
Because bread is flour and it'll dust off.
Okay.
So I'm just really working it in there. So in 30 minutes, I will put my loaves of bread. So hold on one second. Let me. Yeah, so I'm going to show you actually what the next step is so that in 30 minutes. So this is the pre-shape. I'm waiting for Val to come back on the screen because I don't want her to miss this part.
So you're going to shape it, put it in your bath. You're going to shape it, let it rest for 30 minutes, then put it in the colander?
Yeah, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in 30 minutes right now, even if it messes up one of my breads a little bit. So I'm adding a little bit more flour. So I've got my little bowl here. I'm going to flip it over. Remember how we were folding before when it was in the bowl? So you're going to take this side, put it over like this. This side, stretch it, put it like that. This side, stretch it, put it like that. And then you stretch this all the way over. Boom. And you stick it in there.
One more time for the cheap seats in the back.
Yep.
So let me just ask this again. So before you do that, we let it sit for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just doing it now so that you guys see what to do. So.
And then, go ahead.
Okay, so you take this part and fold it over. This part and fold it over. let me unfold. Okay. So this part we're gonna fold over. Then this part we're gonna fold over. This part, it's almost like you're making a burrito.
Right.
Yes.
And then this part, essentially
all
you
the
like
way.
all the way over. Yep. And then you have it nice and tight. And then you want the seam. So when I flipped it and actually put the seams on the wrong side. So when you flip this over, see how it's like a really nice smooth ball now? Compared to this one, it's a little rugged. I don't know if you can see, but it got like smoother. So then you're gonna put the ugly part up in your proofing basket. Once it's in the proofing basket, you let it rise here for 3 or 4 hours.
Oh.
Or you can cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator overnight.
Do we leave it overnight in the basket?
Yep.
In the fridge?
Yep. Covered with plastic wrap.
Okay. Nice.
So then I am going to send you guys the rest of the instructions via text message or Facebook message for you, Val. And it's pretty simple. Essentially, you put your oven on screaming hot, 500 degrees. I'm just going to tell you now so that you have that information. So the oven goes to 500 degrees. Let me put you back up here. And you put your Dutch oven, if you're using one, into the hot oven while it's heating up. So the vessels that you use need to be super hot also. Okay. And then when the vessel is super hot and your bread is ready to go, you take the vessel out. If you're using a cast iron Dutch oven with a lid, does everyone here have a cast iron Dutch oven with a lid? Okay.
Yes, I just
so
got one.
Great. So Val, your instructions are gonna be a little different, and I'll share those with you in just a second. So
I have like a metal pot that they use for like Puerto Rican rice to make it crispy on the bottom. I just don't know if it's like a Dutch oven or cast iron. I'm not sure.
Is it thin? Can you get it? Can you show me?
Yeah.
Oh,
that?
I bet that'll work. Does that have a plastic?
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Can you unscrew it?
Yeah, it has a nut.
Okay, yeah, I would unscrew it, and I'd use that. I'd stick a little piece of aluminum foil in the hole so that the steam stays in. Because essentially what you're doing with a cast iron is you're steaming the bread. So you're shocking it with the hot heat, and then it's going to steam and expand, and then it sets and it bakes. So that will probably work super duper well at that high heat, because it's thick, right? It's not like a super thin metal. It's pretty thick.
It's not that thick. It's not like the cast iron type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Is it light?
It's light. It's not as light as like my aluminum pots and stuff, but
okay.
It's still light.
Try it, right? Let's try it. Let's see how it works.
That way I don't have to buy a Dutch oven.
Exactly. Those things are expensive. They're a great Christmas gift, but Christmas is really close. So
don't tell my husband we should get one. I go, we don't need one.
You'll have one after this. That's what parlayed me into getting one.
I think that looks like it'll work perfectly. So you're going to put it into a 500-degree oven. After a little bit of time, you turn down the heat, but I'm going to send you the instructions step by step. It cooks for a long time. It cooks for longer than you think it's going to cook. For like, in the same way the cinnamon rolls, you were like, why are these taking forever? Sourdough bread takes a long time in the oven, but then when it comes out, you then have to set it on your counter and let it sit for like an hour to cool before you even eat it. So it's a long process, but the result is just super duper delicious. So I'm going to send you the baking instructions now. I'm sending you the entire recipe now from online, so you can read through it and, judge me for all the things I maybe got wrong or could have said better and all of those things. But then we can reconvene. If you'd like, we can reconvene here at 6:30 tonight and just like check in on how we're doing if you're feeling like insecure or whatever. So I'll plan on having this going at 6:30 tonight so that we can talk about where we're at in our process. Because everybody's bread will have risen, proofed, and all of that by 6:30. How does that sound?
Yay.
Sounds good.
So
okay,
you
awesome.
think we should give mine like another hour?
I think so. It just looked a little watery. Which one was the watery one? Was that the one that you had added the salt to?
Yeah, I think it was the one that came later after my teeth cleaning.
Okay.
And I feel like they might just need another hour.
I think they just need some time. Yeah, and you know what? Put that in the warm oven, Serena.
Okay.
Keep your bread warm. That one. See, that one looks closer than the other one, but it's still pretty shaggy. So just keep folding it until. Okay. And it may have been that your starter just wasn't quite ready. Totally. In which case, it's just taking a little bit longer, but. Yeah. We're going to have bread at the end. And like Val said, you're going to put butter on it and it's going to be delicious.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Awesome, guys. I'll see you here at 6:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.